Simon of the Desert posted 1:03.215 on his last lap, and will be pushing hard for an even lower time.
The time clock can be a cruel mistress that is all too willing to show you your faults.
Craig Gallagher has a best lap time of 1:09.313.
Craig Gallagher is not giving up and will be looking for every 10th.
Melero is on his practice out lap. Craig Gallagher has a best lap time of 1:09.313.
If there is still time on the clock, there is still time to improve.
Ryan Wilson is on his practice out lap. With just 0 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Melero is on his first practice flying lap. David Zahn posted 102.976 on his last lap, and will be pushing hard for an even lower time. Assad Extreming is on his practice out lap. This is where the mental game comes into play. David Zahn is taking his time to prepare for his qualifying run.
These are the moments that really matter. Let's see if Zahn can deliver.
It looks like Sketty is getting ready to make his move. He's taking his time to warm up those tires and get everything just right.
Patience is key in these early moments, Marco. But I have a feeling Sketty is going to make it count.
Sketty has completed his outlap. Melero is on his outlap. David Zahn crosses the start-finish line at the end of his outlap. The pressure is on in this qualifying session, but Simon of the Desert is rising to the occasion. Simon of the Desert has completed that flying lap in 102.757, which is good enough for P4, down 0.744 to the leader. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. David Zahn is currently on provisional pole, with a time of 1:01.818. Melero is now up. Melero will be happy, with a time good enough for third in this qualifying session. Sketty will be happy, with a time good enough for fourth in this qualifying session.
It may be difficult for him to find that missing 0.625, but that won't stop him from trying.
David Zahn is in the green by 0.11. This is what it's all about. Craig Gallagher is putting everything he's got into this qualifying session.
Absolutely. Craig Gallagher is showing the world what he's made of.
Ryan Wilson is currently on provisional pole, with a time of 1:01.661.
It may be difficult for him to improve on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. It's far better to drive smooth and smart.
Craig Gallagher is on his first flying lap.
It's always impressive to see a driver in the zone like this, Marco. Let's see if he can maintain this pace.
Craig Gallagher just clocked a 1:09.108, 7.447 off of P1 and good enough for P6. Let's see if he can improve on that time further. Melero has found an extra 0.32. Melero will be happy, with a time good enough for fourth in this qualifying session. Craig Gallagher currently has 7.447 of a gap to match P1. Janet, any thoughts on ways to improve?
Every driver needs something different, Marco. Some drivers excel when they push harder, while other drivers benefit more from relaxing and being in a flow state.
Sketty will be happy, with a time good enough for third in this qualifying session. It's all about precision and speed in qualifying, and Kevin Lekmansky is nailing both.
Lekmansky is indeed a rare breed. It takes a special kind of driver to thrive under this kind of pressure.
Sketty is in the green by 0.18. Sketty will be happy, with a time good enough for third in this qualifying session.
Every fraction of a second counts. He is surely working on that 0.176 gap to pole.
There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Kevin Lekmansky has some work to do, as his best time of 102.853 is only good enough for 6th. Kevin Lekmansky has some work to do, as his best time of 102.601 is only good enough for 6th.
That's not a bad time, but I am sure he will keep working on that 0.94 gap to pole.
It's all about strategy in these early moments. Adam is taking his time to prepare for his qualifying run and get everything just right. Simon of the Desert is up 0.11. Simon of the Desert will be happy, with a time good enough for 4th in this qualifying session.
It may be difficult for him to find that missing 0.225, but that won't stop him from trying.
What a fantastic showing from Ryan Wilson. Ryan Wilson is currently on provisional pole, with a time of 101.492.
That's a great time, but it's always a good idea to keeping pushing for every last 10th and 100th.
A solid qualifying performance by Adam has just completed that lap in 102.001, which is 0.509 off the best time, putting him in P5. Adam will be happy, with a time good enough for second in this qualifying session. A solid performance from Simon of the Desert, currently holding down P5. However, with the session coming to a close, he'll need to find that extra bit of speed to move up the grid. Impressive work from Adam, who has claimed second on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining his composure and push for an even better starting position. Adam is currently on provisional pole, with a time of 1:01.238.
It may be difficult for him to improve on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. It's far better to drive smooth and smart.
Ryan Wilson is currently in second during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess his competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start. Ryan Wilson will be happy, with a time good enough for second in this qualifying session.
Every fraction of a second counts. He is surely working on that 0.254 gap to pole.
Adam will be looking to convert his pole position into a win.
He can't get cocky. This is ASRL, and anything can happen.
Ryan Wilson is starting this race on the front row.
This is a great place to be, but there's always the threat of drivers right behind getting a better start and a slipstream into the first turn.
Taking the third spot is David Zahn.
He's going to have to be quick out of the blocks to keep up with the top performers.
Coming in at fourth, we have Sketty.
Putting that ASRL Veloce GTS-8 into prime position for the race.
We're seeing Simon of the Desert in the fifth spot.
It's not always easy to get the ASRL Veloce GTS-8 this high up the starting grid.
Kevin Lekmansky will look to make a splash from the sixth position on the starting grid.
I think we are all looking forward to seeing what Lekmansky can do from here.
Starting from the seventh position, Melero will need to navigate through the field to challenge for the win. Sitting in eighth is Craig Gallagher. and the green flag drops. The race is officially underway.
Maintaining composure is essential in this high-stakes environment. The ability to react and adapt will be the key to success.
Races are often more about maintaining consistency than having outright pace, but it doesn't hurt to have a little good luck every now and then.
Let's hope everyone is able to stay focused for the challenge ahead.
This is going to be one hell of a race. I can already feel it.
With this motley bunch of drivers, there is bound to be drama. I just hope we don't miss it.
As the tires come up to temp, their available grip is changing, and the drivers that manage this transition best are likely to make progress through the field. It's been a solid race so far for Kevin Lekmanski. He's holding his position and keeping a steady pace. Every move counts now as Sketty works to reel in Kevin Lekmanski and overtake for P4. The pursuit is on. Kevin Lekmanski is closing the gap on David Zahn, determined to claim P3.
The gap between them is now just over 0.5 seconds.
Sketty is looking for an opportunity to get around Kevin Lekmanski.
If Sketty gets too close, he might end up taking the paint off.
Simon of the Desert is running 6th and trying to catch Sketty.
We'll have to wait to see if Simon can use the draft to his advantage, or if the lack of downforce will hinder his progress.
Sketty is on a mission, chasing Kevin Lekmanski, who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
Sometimes you have to take risks to win, but pushing the car too hard can be a costly mistake.
Braking development. Oh dear, Sketty has dropped down to 6th.
Yes, but he can't give up. There's still plenty of time left in this race, and Sketty needs to stay focused and keep pushing.
Melero is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. The gap between Melero and Simon of the Desert is growing. It's now up to 0.7 seconds.
Melero needs to focus and keep pushing, even when things aren't going his way. If he can close the gap down, he may be able to bring the fight to Simon.
The battle for P4 is heating up as Sketty tries to catch Kevin Lekmanski in P4. Heartbreaking news, folks. Superb driving from Sketty, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race.
Absolutely. Sketty is really putting on a clinic out there, and he's making it look easy.
These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely. It's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. I would not be surprised to see him get this pass completed soon.
Things are heating up as Sketty tries to close the gap to Kevin Lekmanski. The gap between Sketty and Kevin Lekmanski is widening. It's now up to 0.6 seconds.
He needs to pick up the pace for sure, but that's not always a real possibility.
Let's talk about tire degradation. Janet, how does it affect braking development? A tough moment for Sketty, who has just lost a place, now in 6th. Simon of the Desert is on a mission, chasing Sketty, who's currently got a comfortable lead.
Simon is looking to close the 0.6 second gap and make a pass.
Simon of the Desert is in the flow, putting in his best lap so far. This is a thrilling battle as Melero edges closer to Simon of the Desert in their fight for P6. Melero is on a charge. His split time shows he's upped his pace. This is where the race gets really interesting. David Zahn is closing in on Ryan Wilson. Wait, a setback for David Zahn, who has just been passed.
Yes, but there's still plenty of race left. Zahn needs to stay calm and focused, and make his move when the time is right.
Stop the press. Disappointing for Ryan Wilson, falling down the order to 5th. Tough break for Ryan Wilson, who has just lost a position. Wait, that won't be ideal for Ryan Wilson. Kevin Lekmansky has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with David Zahn. I expect his only hope at this point is that David makes an error.
It's not over until the checkered flag drops, and it's important to maintain concentration until you've made it to the finish line.
Kevin Lekmansky is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to David Zahn to 0.5 seconds.
He'll be looking for a mistake to pounce on.
Breaking news, folks. A brilliant maneuver from Kevin Lekmansky, who has just moved up the field. The pressure is on as Simon of the Desert works on catching up to Sketty.
It's all about choosing the right moments to push and when to conserve energy, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike.
The action is non-stop as Kevin Lekmansky shadow. Hold on a second. It's a tale of two drivers right now, with Kevin Lekmansky gaining places and David Zahn losing them. David Zahn is giving it his all, chasing down Kevin Lekmansky in P2.
This is not going to be an easy pass to make.
David Zahn is trying his best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Kevin Lekmansky at the moment. We've certainly seen some of the drivers get it wrong today.
Anyone lost can just follow the trail of skid marks.
Braking development. A tough moment for David Zahn, who has just lost a place, now in 4th.
Sucks to be the Marco.
While David Zahn is not under immediate threat from Sketty, he can still benefit from staying focused. Any slip-up could lose him the position.
Absolutely. And on the other side of the equation, Sketty can't afford to let up. He's got to drive with intensity and focus, and wait for any opportunity to arise.
Look at that. Sketty is hot on the tail of David Zahn. It looks like Sketty is making a move. The gap to David Zahn is now down to 0.4 seconds. Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled from being pushed for every last bit of speed.
It's a fine line between pushing the car to its limits and losing control. Melero is really walking that fine line.
It looks like we might get a battle between Melero and Simon of the Desert. Looks like Sketty is really hitting those curves aggressively, which can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer.
The pursuit is on. Melero is closing the gap on Simon of the Desert, determined to claim P5. This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Sketty is chasing David Zahn in P3. The pressure is on as Melero tries to catch up to Simon of the Desert. Sketty is running forward and trying to catch David Zahn. Melero seems to be putting the pressure on Simon of the Desert.
I might have said this before, but dog, bone, you know the rest.
It's looking good for Melero, who has gained a place after passing Simon of the Desert.
Absolutely. Melero is showing great pace and determination, but he can't get too confident. There are still plenty of challenges ahead.
Simon of the Desert is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift.
This is where every inch counts. Simon is pushing hard to close the gap on Melero. Absolutely, precision and control are key here. Knowing when to push and when to hold back can be the difference between.
Stop the press. Big gains for Simon of the Desert as they move up the field, leaving Melero behind.
Go, 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 that's what we want to see.
Sketty is staying focused while chasing David Zahn in P3.
It's a game of strategy now as Sketty hunts down Zahn.
Simon of the Desert is on a mission, chasing Melero, who's desperately trying to stay ahead. It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect hold-up, breaking info. An impressive showing from Sketty, who has gained positions and left David Zahn in the dust. Hard break for Sketty, as they slip down the field. Oh, this is getting intense. Simon of the Desert is just a few car lengths behind Melero.
The gap is 0.5 seconds now. Simon is going to have to work a bit harder to close that gap with Melero.
Breaking update. A great moment for Simon of the Desert, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings. Oh, this is getting intense. Sketty needs to keep David Zahn in his sights. It's not looking good for Sketty, who is still behind David Zahn, and the gap is increasing. Janet, can you share some strategies that drivers use to manage tire degradation during a race?
Certainly, Marco. Some strategies include adjusting the car's setup for better tire life, altering driving lines to reduce wear, and using tire management techniques like lift and coast to preserve grip for as long as possible.
The pursuit is on. Simon of the Desert is working on that gap to Melero, determined to claim P5. Braking alert. A setback for Simon of the Desert, who has just been passed. The battle for P4 is heating up as Melero tries to catch Sketty in P4.
You can see that car bouncing around as it rides the curves. It's a risky move that could end in disaster.
Every move counts now as Simon of the Desert works to reel in Melero and overtake for P5.
Simon needs to focus to have a chance at
Braking alert. Looks like that's a mistake from Simon of the Desert. This could be costly. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Ryan Wilson trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Simon of the Desert. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. It's game on now. Ryan Wilson has closed the gap to Simon of the Desert. It's now down to 1.3 seconds. It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for Sketty as there is a big gap ahead.
Every race adds to a driver's experience, both good and bad. It just highlights that Sketty is going to have to get more serious with practice to not get outclassed on the circuit.
It seems like Sketty is struggling. His last lap time was a bit off the pace of David Zahn. Things are going according to plan for Adam, who is currently first. Braking development. Fantastic move from Adam, who has just gained a position.
Amazing stuff. Focus and precision, what it's all about.
The race is really heating up. Sketty is hunting down David Zahn with everything he's got.
The mental game is just as important here. Sketty must keep his cool while putting pressure on Zahn.
The gap between Sketty and David Zahn is getting smaller. You can feel the tension in the air.
The drivers are all focused, putting everything on the line for a chance at victory, pushing themselves and their machines to the limit.
And let's not forget about the incredible machine. Hold on a second. Tough break for Sketty, who has just lost a position. Things are heating up as Sketty tries to close the gap to David Zahn.
Sketty needs to focus to make up that gap to Zahn.
The gap between David Zahn and Sketty is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from David Zahn to bring Sketty into play.
Absolutely right, Marco. And Sketty knows he's got to keep driving at his best and take advantage of any opportunity that comes his way.
This is a thrilling battle as Sketty edges closer to David Zahn in their fight for P3. It seems like Sketty has got the bit between his teeth, improving on David Zahn's lap time there.
The question now is, can Zahn respond to that and pick up the pace? I'm not so sure.
Janet, how do racing drivers like yourself train to maintain concentration for long periods? Hold on a second. A tough moment for Sketty, who has just lost a place, now in 5th. A solid performance from Simon of the Desert, who is holding down 6th.
Definitely Marco, but Simon can't afford to get complacent. This race is going to require focus and intensity.
Oh dear, Craig Gallagher has had an incident.
Craig Gallagher is not going to be happy about that.
The battle for P3 is heating up as Sketty tries to catch David Zahn in P3. Sketty is not able to keep his pace consistent, and is currently 0.66 seconds down.
Sketty needs to regroup and refocus and knock it up a notch.
Hold on a second. Superb driving from Sketty, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race.
You can't argue with results like that. Sketty is really making his mark on this race.
This is where the race gets really interesting. Sketty is closing in on David Zahn.
The racing is getting tight between Sketty and Dave as they battle for P3. No doubt, both drivers know that one mistake could cost them the position. It's a test of nerves as much as skill.
It's looking good for Craig Gallagher, sitting in 8th.
That's right. Craig Gallagher can't afford to make any mistakes or let up. Every point counts in this championship.
The pursuit is on. Sketty is closing the gap on David Zahn, determined to claim P3. It's certainly not going to plan for Sketty right now, who is struggling to keep up with David Zahn. Hold that thought. A brilliant maneuver from Sketty, who has just moved up the field. Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled from being pushed for every last bit of speed.
The gap between them is just over 0.4 seconds, which can feel like miles if—
Stop the press. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line.
Did the wind contribute to that? It's blowing at 5 kph out there right now.
Looks like Sketty is really hitting those curves aggressively, which can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. The gap between them is just over 0.4 seconds. Can Sketty close that gap and get back in range? I can't see it happening at this point.
And Sketty has just won the place from David Zahn. Hold on a moment. That won't be ideal for David Zahn. The delta between David Zahn and 4th and— Hold on a moment. Oh dear, David Zahn has dropped down to 5th.
Yes, but he can't give up. There's still plenty of time left in this race, and Zahn needs to stay focused and keep pushing.
Sketty is running fourth and trying to keep up with David Zahn. Good news for Sketty, the gap to David Zahn has decreased. It's now down to 0.3 seconds. Melero is placed fifth at the moment.
Yes, but Melero has to keep his focus and drive with intensity. There's still a long way to go in this race.
Wait, what a move. Sketty has moved up to fourth.
Yes, Sketty is driving with real focus and precision, and it's paying off.
As a former racing driver, Janet, how challenging was it to adapt your driving style to account for tire degradation throughout a race?
It was a constant challenge, Marco. Tire degradation can change the car's balance and handling, so drivers need to be versatile and adaptable. It requires continuous adjustments to driving techniques and a keen understanding of the car's behavior.
Sketty wants to close that gap with David Zahn.
To achieve anything in this game, you must be prepared to dabble at the boundary of disaster.
Melero is placed fifth at the moment, and hoping to keep his distance ahead of Simon of the Desert, who is 0.5 seconds behind. Sketty is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift.
With just 0.4 seconds between them, Sketty will need to close the gap to have hopes of a pass.
Simon of the Desert braking update. Great driving from Simon of the Desert, who has just gained a place and moved up to first. Tough break for Simon of the Desert, who has just lost a position. Sketty is on a mission, chasing David Zahn, who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
Sketty is really pushing the limits. He's riding the curbs and hustling that ASRL Veloce GTS-8 like a boss.
The pressure is on as Simon of the Desert tries to catch up to Melero. Every move counts now as Sketty works to reel in David Zahn and overtake for P3.
It's a game of strategy now as Sketty hunts down Zahn. Yes, it's all about choosing the right moments to push and when to conserve energy, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike.
Look at that. Simon of the Desert is hot on the tail of Melero, breaking development. It's a tale of two drivers right now, with Simon of the Desert gaining places and Melero losing them.
Yes, but Simon can't rest on his laurels, but needs to keep pushing to consolidate his position.
It's like Adam has saved all his energy for this final stretch.
You got this, Adam. Keep it cool and bring it home.
And it's a checkered flag for Adam, who crosses the finish line with a commanding victory. What a phenomenal performance, absolutely dominant today.
What a display of skill and precision.
Kevin Lech-Mansky never gave up. He drove with heart and determination, ultimately securing a well-deserved second-place finish. Well done to David Zahn for securing third place on the podium.
Fantastic result.
In fourth, fifth, and sixth, it's Sketty, Melero, and Simon of the Desert. With Craig Gallagher in seventh. Craig Gallagher will lead the way from pole position.
He can't afford to get complacent. He will have a target on his back now.
Simon of the Desert will be looking to convert this front row start into a win.
He will have to be smart about his moves. He must not burn out too early.
Lining up in third is Melero.
The Brazilian driver will be focused on a good result from here.
The fourth position is occupied by Sketty.
It's like he's on the outside looking in, close enough to see the front without actually being there.
Holding strong in fifth place is David Zahn.
David will be ready to show what he's made of.
At sixth, we have the one and only Kevin Lekmanski.
Big things expected for Kevin today.
On the seventh grid slot we have Adam. Ryan Wilson will be looking to gain ground quickly, starting from 8th on the grid.
Don't count Ryan out yet. He's got the skills to pay the bills.
The race is on, and tensions are high as drivers navigate the first lap. One wrong move could lead to a collision in these tight quarters.
This is where the driver's true abilities will be put to the test. Staying calm and collected while pushing for the lead is the ultimate challenge.
The tensions are high, and no one will want to make a crucial mistake on the first lap. There's some intense battling throughout the field as everyone is feeling out the drivers around them.
The drivers are walking a fine line during the first lap melee as everyone tries to establish themselves. It's easy for inexperienced racers to blow it in T1.
The pressure is on when the field is this tightly packed. Maintaining just enough aggression to hold off their rivals without pushing too hard will help these drivers keep it clean. It's a solid performance from Kevin Lekmanski at the moment. He's holding his position and not getting too caught up in battles around him.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. Lekmanski just needs to bide his time and wait for the right opportunity.
Fantastic move from Kevin Lekmanski, who has just gained a position.
Absolutely. Kevin is really putting on a clinic out there, and he's making it look easy.
Hold your breath, folks. These breaking news, folks. There's been an incident and we have a safety car, but it's all part of the game, and the drivers and teams will have to find a way to adapt to the situation.
And who knows, this could be a blessing in disguise for some of the drivers who were struggling earlier in the race. They now have a chance to regroup and make a comeback when the safety car finally comes back in.
It's all up in the air, and that's what makes this sport so exciting. I think we just got time for a quick shout out to our human creators, Dave, Andy, John and Nigel, who have put so much effort into making this possible.
Yes, it's been a real thrill ride, and I for one look forward to future advancements in AI technology.
Apparently we are going to be announcing crashes and incidents soon. Let's hope they get the logic right. And we have the safety car out, which means the drivers need to be extra cautious now.
It's a real game changer, with drivers needing to adjust their strategies and try to find ways to gain an advantage.
It's also a bit of a break for the drivers, giving them a chance to catch their breath and regroup before the action kicks off again. We often hear drivers complaining about tire graining. Janet, can you explain what that means and how it affects car handling?
Graining occurs when small rubber particles roll up on the tire's surface, reducing grip and negatively affecting handling. It usually happens when the tires are not in their optimal
Breaking update, and the race is back underway. The safety car period is behind us, and the drivers are eager to get back into the rhythm and chase down their rivals. Talk about pressure. Kevin Lekmansky is caught in the middle. Stop the press. The battle is on for Kevin Lekmansky. He's sandwiched between two rivals. Adam 0.2 seconds away and Zahn 0.1 seconds ahead. It's a true test of his racecraft.
Absolutely, Marco. The gaps to the cars ahead and behind are like windows of opportunity for Lekmansky. He'll need to assess the timing and make a move wisely to maximize his chances.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Adam is right on the heels of David Zahn, and we're in for a wild ride.
This is where the mental game comes into play. Adam and Zahn both need to stay cool under pressure.
Sketty is holding forth, but Ryan Wilson is right on his tail.
That's right. Sketty is showing some great form, and it looks like Wilson won't be able to catch up, barring any mistakes.
Oh, this is getting intense. Mellero is just a few car lengths behind Ryan Wilson.
The gap between them is now just over 0.3 seconds.
Things are heating up as Adam tries to close the gap to David Zahn. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. Don't forget the role of aerodynamics. Sketty should use slipstreaming to his advantage and close the gap to Adam.
This one's going to be tough. Adam is getting his elbows out, and there may not be enough time left for Sketty to make a move. This is what it's all about, folks. Sketty is in hot pursuit of Adam, who's just trying to stay ahead. Breaking update. It's looking good for Sketty, who has gained a place after passing Adam. It's a game of inches now as Adam tails David Zahn closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. Breaking development. A great moment for Adam, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings. Rising to the occasion and claiming victory would help to cement David Zahn's legendary status.
If Zahn isn't careful, he might end up turning this high-speed chase into a synchronized spinning routine, and trust me, that's not a crowd pleaser.
Adam wants to find a way round David Zahn.
And Adam is poised to capitalize on any mistake. It's just a matter of who cracks first.
The pursuit is on. Ryan Wilson is closing the gap on Adam, determined to claim P4. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this.
Adam is following Zahn so closely, he could start charging him rent for occupying the same space on the track.
Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled from being pushed for every last bit of speed.
We'll have to wait to see if Ryan can use the draft to his advantage, or if the lack of downforce will hinder his progress.
Things are getting spicy now, as Adam hold that thought. Disappointing for Adam, falling down the order to 5th. The crowd is on their feet, roaring with excitement. It's an all-out war between. Hold the phone. It's true what they say, Janet. You're never completely useless.
Indeed, Marco, you can always be used as a bad example.
That's not a small gap, but David Zahn has what it takes to challenge for the position.
This is where experience comes into play. Melero has been in this situation before and knows how to defend for position, but Zahn is hungry for success and won't give up easily.
Adam is looking for a way round Ryan Wilson.
There is no room for error in this battle.
It's not going to plan for Adam, who is trailing behind Ryan Wilson, and the gap is widening. He may not have an answer for this right now. Tactics are clearly going to play an important part in this race.
Drivers are going to need to look after their tires and will want to keep something in them for the crucial latter stages, as their tires wear and fuel levels deplete and the handling changes.
And don't forget the track grip increases as more rubber gets laid down.
Indeed, the conditions are constantly changing and the drivers need to adapt, otherwise it can cost crucial time and jeopardize their position.
This is a thrilling battle as Sketty edges closer to Kevin Lekmansky in their fight for P1.
He's got his work cut out for him, that's for sure.
This is where the race gets really interesting. Adam is closing in on Ryan Wilson.
Sometimes you have to take risks to win, but pushing the car too hard can be a costly mistake. Adam needs to be careful not to overdo it.
Looks like Sketty is really hitting those curves aggressively, which can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's back.
Hold the phone. Looks like that's a mistake from David Zahn. This could be costly.
It's a real shame. Until this point in the race he'd been looking at a decent result.
The battle for P1 is heating up as Sketty tries to catch Kevin Lekmansky in P1.
Sketty is looking to close the 0.3 second gap and make a pass.
Adam could be looking for a way up the inside of Ryan Wilson.
If you don't push the boundaries, you will never know where they are.
Sketty is on a mission, chasing Kevin Lekmansky, who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
This is not going to be an easy pass to make.
This is what high-octane racing looks like. Adam is breathing down the neck of Ryan Wilson, not giving him any room to relax. Braking alert. Oh dear, Simon of the Desert has had an incident. The race is really heating up. Sketty is hunting down Kevin Lekmansky with everything he's got.
It's a fine line between pushing the car to its limits and losing control. Sketty is really walking that fine line.
This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Adam is chasing Ryan Wilson in P3.
One important aspect here is choosing the right braking points. Adam needs to be precise to avoid overshooting and losing valuable time.
Every move counts now as Sketty works to reel in Kevin Lekmansky and overtake for P1.
It's all about finding the perfect opportunity. Sketty needs to stay patient and wait for Lekmansky to make a mistake.
Looking at the lap times, Sketty is not currently on pace with Kevin Lekmansky. Maybe he'll get a chance to see where to make up some time. Adam is on a mission, chasing Ryan Wilson, who's currently got a comfortable lead.
We'll have to wait to see if Adam can get into drafting range.
Oh, this is getting intense. Sketty is just a few car lengths behind Kevin Lekmansky.
The gap is 0.5 seconds now. Sketty is going to have to work a bit harder to close that gap with Lekmansky.
The crowd is on the edge of their seats as David Zahn in 6th chases after Melero. The pressure is on as Sketty tries to catch up to Kevin Lekmansky. pushing hard to catch up to Ryan Wilson.
It's going to be a close one. Adam will have to push hard to create an opportunity.
Hold on a moment. A great pass for Adam, swapping places with Ryan Wilson to move up the field. The intensity is off the charts as Sketty hounds Kevin Lekmansky, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit.
That's right, Sketty is determined to pass Lekmansky and secure a higher position.
It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while.
This battle between Adam and Ryan is so intense, you could cut the tension with a knife, or should I say, with a front wing.
Sketty is running second, and trying to catch Kevin Lekmansky. Adam has the pedal to the metal, chasing Stop the Press. Superb driving from Adam, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race.
Impressive. Adam is really showing his skill and determination out there.
The pursuit is on. Sketty is closing the gap on Kevin Lekmansky, determined to claim P1. Adam is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. Look at that. Sketty is hot on the tail of Kevin Lekmansky.
The racing is getting tight between Sketty and Lekmansky as they battle for P1. No doubt, both drivers know that one mistake could cost them the position. It's a test of nerves as much as skill.
This is a thrilling battle as Adam edges closer to Ryan Wilson in their fight for P3. Things are heating up as Sketty tries to close the gap to Kevin Lekmansky.
You can see that car bouncing around as it rides the curves. It's a risky move that could end in disaster.
These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving.
The battle for P1 is heating up as Sketty tries to catch Kevin Lekmansky in P1.
The gap between them is just over 0.4 seconds, which can feel like miles if you're trailing and not catching up.
The race is really heating up. Adam is hunting down Ryan Wilson with everything he's got. Looks like Sketty is really hitting those curves aggressively, which can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. The mental game is just as important here. Sketty must keep his cool while putting pressure on Lekmansky.
Adam is looking for an opportunity to get around Ryan Wilson.
And if you're enjoying the racing, please remember to like and subscribe.
Hold up, breaking info. What a move. Adam has moved up to third. In racing, anything can, and usually does, happen, especially in such an epic showdown.
I remember being in a similar situation during my racing days. Sketty must stay focused and wait for the perfect opportunity to overtake.
This is where the race gets really interesting. Adam is closing in on Ryan Wilson.
With just 0.5 seconds between them, Adam will need to close the gap to have hopes of a pass.
Every move counts now as Sketty works to reel in Kevin Lekmansky and overtake for P1.
The gap between them is just over 0.5 seconds. Can Sketty close that gap and get back in range? I can't see it happening at this point.
Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled from being pushed for every last bit of speed. Kevin Lekmansky is giving it his all, chasing down Sketty in P1. It looks like Kevin Lekmansky is making a move. The gap to Sketty is now down to 0.4 seconds. The drivers have been working hard to come up with the perfect race strategy. They've been looking at the weather, the track conditions, and the performance of their cars.
Now it's time to put that strategy into action and see if it pays off.
Adam is trying his best to catch Ryan Wilson. Adam is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to Ryan Wilson to 0.5 seconds. The pressure is on as Kevin Lekmanski tries to catch up to Sketty. The gap between Kevin Lekmanski and Sketty is growing. It's now up to 0.7 seconds.
This is where the mental toughness of Kevin comes into play. He'll need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when things aren't going his way.
What do you think, Janet? Are there any specific factors that could lead to a driver losing concentration during a race?
There are several factors, Marco. Fatigue, stress, changing track conditions, or even issues within the team can all contribute to a lapse in concentration. It's essential for drivers to stay mentally resilient and adapt to these challenges.
Adam wants to get into Ryan Wilson's slipstream.
Rubbing's racing, but let's just hope they don't rub it too hard.
The gap between Adam and Ryan Wilson is widening. It's now up to 0.5 seconds. Things don't seem to be going Kevin Lekmanski's way in this race, as that's a big gap he'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here.
Lekmanski certainly isn't going to be close enough to mount any kind of challenge soon unless it's down to a mistake from Sketty.
Adam is running forward and trying to catch Ryan Wilson.
Don't forget the role of aerodynamics. Adam should use slipstreaming to his advantage and close the gap to Wilson.
Adam needs to find some speed, or maybe get more consistent. Janet, he's just put in a slower lap than Ryan Wilson.
It will be interesting to see if Ryan can keep outpacing Adam.
Oh, this is getting intense. Kevin Lekmanski needs to keep Sketty in his sights.
This is where every inch counts. Lekmanski is pushing hard to close the gap on Sketty.
Look at that. Adam is hot on the tail of Ryan Wilson.
We'll have to wait to see if Adam can use the draft to his advantage, or if the lack of downforce will hinder his progress.
Adam has just put in a faster lap than Ryan Wilson, so that's going to give him something to worry about.
As long as Adam can maintain that consistency and pace, it will be interesting to see.
Look at the way the drivers are hugging those corners. It's like they're on rails.
Speaking of rails, did you know that the first racetrack was built on a railway in 1896? I bet those drivers were chugging along.
All joking aside, I bet they were. Things have come a long way since then, haven't they?
Definitely, it's amazing to think about the technology that goes into these cars now. I mean, they have more computing power than some countries.
This is a thrilling battle as Adam edges closer to Ryan Wilson in their fight for P3.
This is where every inch counts. Adam is pushing hard to close the gap on Wilson. Absolutely, precision and control are key here. Knowing when to push and when to hold back can be the difference between winning and losing.
It seems like Kevin Lekmanski is getting in range of Sketty.
If Lekmanski gets too close, he might end up taking the paint off.
Oh, this is getting intense. Adam is just behind Ryan Wilson.
If Adam gets any closer, he might as well ask Wilson for a piggyback ride.
Adam could be on a charge here, Janet. He's just put in a quicker lap than Ryan Wilson.
We will have to see if Wilson has got any answers for that.
As a former driver, Janet, how did you manage the physical demands of racing?
It's all about preparation, Marco. Drivers undergo rigorous fitness training to build their strength, stamina, and flexibility. A proper diet and hydration plan is also essential to ensure peak performance on race day.
Well, it doesn't look like Kevin Lekmansky is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Sketty. Adam is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift.
Adam is looking to close the 0.4 second gap and make a pass.
It seems like Adam is struggling. His last lap time was a bit off the pace of Ryan Wilson.
Hopefully Adam can find some of that missing time and get it back.
The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Kevin Lekmansky needs to find a way to close the gap.
Anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Kevin pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if he can do it again.
These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. It's a game of strategy now as Adam hunts down Wilson. Yes, it's all about choosing the right moments to push and when to conserve energy, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike.
Wow, Sketty is really pushing hard in these final moments of the race.
Sketty is not leaving anything on the table.
And that, folks, is how it's done. A solid performance and great win from Sketty.
What a result for Sketty. He'll be absolutely thrilled with that performance, and rightly so. He really put in the work and it's paid off in spades.
Impressive second place finish for Kevin Lekmansky. What a race from Ryan Wilson, showing his skill and determination for a great third place finish.
Impressive driving to secure that spot.
Followed by Adam, Melero, and Craig Gallagher in 4th, 5th, and 8th. Simon of the Desert in 7th. Taking 6th is David Zahn.